talking about human food. We're talking about any kind of food that comes in a can. I make the #1 can of food in the world, okay? The can of food I make is GMO-free, antibiotic-free, gluten-free, pesticide-free, free range, and certified and way above organic. So I just market it for four-legged children in the rest of you people listening to this. I don't know any dogs except mine who's listening right now. Okay, so that's what I do. And I'm real food. And so everybody that's listening to this knows someone who has a dog. Everyone that they know actually who has a dog or a cat dies of cancer, heart disease, or kidney disease. That's why they die. And it's all from pet food. The whole thing is food. That's why they die. They die from pet food. And all of you people out there that are feeding pet food are poisoning your animals, okay? Because that's what pet food is. So when there's a factory that has meat or eggs or cheese or whatever the factory is, and it's for human consumption, there's a federal inspector like me, okay, in the factory, and they look at everything in the factory, and they take this group of food is good for human consumption. This group of food is forbidden. This fakakta food out there is forbidden for human consumption. And it's moved over to the side of the factory where the pet food people come and pick up this crap that goes in pet food. And that's what you're buying for your dog or cat. Okay? Now, it never made sense to me from the time I was 3 years old that that's what was going on, because when I was born, October 23rd, 1941, that's 80 years in a couple of months, all right? When I was born, there was none of these diseases. They were almost non-existent. Okay, just take existent. Okay, so what happened is after World War II, I was born 6 weeks before Pearl Harbor, but you're not supposed to Pearl Harbor was, okay, because it was taken off all the television say you're not supposed to know because we're going to offend the Japanese, okay? All right, so I don't care about Japanese. Why don't you take him and put him in another room or do something, because I can't do it.
He has to leave.
Huh?
He has
No,
to leave.
don't just sit in the other room. Sit in the room. And I'll call you if I need you. Close the door. Close the door, Steve. Okay. Stop my dog from barking. So anyway, when all this happened, there was none of these diseases. Along war ends, and there were cans. There were no cans to make pet food. Okay, there were no cans to make anything because they were making tanks and truck stuff out of the recycled anything that could get was metal. That's the reason why. So catch on to this. While talking to you, I'm going to tell you a story, like a parable. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story, and the story is a true story. You're not getting these days because we're not allowed to hear the truth, right, Uncle Joe? And so we're not allowed to hear the truth. So I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is, paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division. I came home from Korea. I was a Marine at 16 for a minute. Then I was a paratrooper for a year. I came home from Korea at 19 years old. All right. And I want to tell you the truth. So the truth is that I would not want to be a woman in Afghanistan right now. Okay. So now we're going to get back to the pet side of things. So the pet side of things is in 1953, a gun was invented. It looks like a cannon. And it was called extruder, and I had one, later on to make food with. And this extruder, you fed all this great stuff in the extruder, and it came out the end. And it see what I'm doing with my hands? That is a process called shear. So there was a screw inside the barrel that turned around, that smushed the food on the side of the gun barrel. And that smushing cooked the food, and under tremendous heat and pressure. It's all in the book, Combustion for Pets. Okay, and so it pushed the food out the end. At the end, pressure was so big, it pushed it out the end. It hit atmospheric pressure, so it expanded. And there was a little knife at the end that spun around, and you could control the knife, and that made the size of the pellet. That's how they make dry pet food. But instead of using this great food like I did, because I made the food for President Reagan for Ethiopia, for the children of Ethiopia, 20 million people in Ethiopia, I designed and made the food for Ethiopia with the help of Margaret Heckler, and Peggy was the Secretary of Health, Education, Human Resources under Ronald Reagan. So this whole thing together, right? But we made it with human grade, organic food that was. It was so nutritious that we could take an Ethiopian child, right? It was all vegetarian, by the way. And we put this formula together, this vegetarian formula, and dogs and cats are not vegetarians. Made this for them, but it was the purest, greatest food that I could get in the United States, where we all live. Okay, some of us, and so I made this food. So they saw what could be done with all this, and back to 1953, you could take any kind of garbage, okay? Fakakta food is what it was, and you could take any kind of that, and anything, any kind of garbage, whatever, run it through the extreme pellet, and you would know one pellet from another pellet. So, of course, that's not what I did. Pet food industry does, because it is the scuzziest, dirtiest, filthiest industry in the United States. All right, you could take dead cats and dogs and mix it up, which they did, dead cats and dogs, and they could take rotten corn, which is going on right now, because everybody that's listening to me right now has heard about Midwest pet foods, or Midwestern pet food. Western? Yeah, okay. Yvonne says it's Midwestern pet food. Western pet food. This is the second time in a few months now they're slaughtering all these animals with aflatoxin. And aflatoxin is a fungus that grows on old corn, soy, all kinds of things. It grows on grains. So the grains are stored for years in case we have a famine, which we're going to have, like real soon. Thank you, Uncle Joe. And I want he's listening to this while he's drinking out of his sippy cup or having his favorite. What is Uncle Joe? He's a
lollipop. I don't know.
A lollipop. Yeah, he eats lollipops. But what's the other thing? He likes he put ice cream on top. Ice cream cone. Yeah, there we go. All right. So anyway, we're going to have the famines coming. Okay. So a lot of you, how many legs are going to be in cornucopia? Anyway, I made this food to be human food, no GMOs, no GMOs. Thank you, Cold Spring Harbor Laboratories, which is 1 mile from me, okay? And all this rot that people are making billions of dollars on, you're consuming by eating fast food garbage at fast food garbage restaurants. But I didn't do that. I took the purest, everything organic, everything not only organic, but certified organic by Oregon Tilth, which is the certifying agency. So I'm in the clinic, so that's the clinic phone ringing. All right, so it's all organic. Every single solitary thing that I can put in there is certified organic. As low rules and penalties and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know why they're not closing down Midwestern pet food. I just don't know it. I know they got a letter from the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. I don't know why they're just not shutting them down. But so far last week, 127 dogs were dead, and dogs and cats or whatever, and pets. And then hundreds are deathly sick. So that's what was reported to me by people calling me from all over the world. What's going on with Midwestern pet food? Well, I don't know Midwestern pet food, but what's going on is they're using rotten crap with a fungus called aflatoxin, and what it's doing is killing the animals. But there are loads of companies out there doing the same thing because that's what pet food is. Pet food is stuff. Let me use the word stuff. It's really begins with an S, but it's a different word. Pet food is something that you would never put in your mouth. You won't even taste it. Okay, I've been eating my food since 60s, since the 70s. Madison Square Garden television. You can find me on Doctor Eats Pet Food, Madison Square Garden television, sometime in the 60s. Okay, and so I've been doing that because it's impossible for you to purchase a can of food from me that I have eaten and from that batch, because it's a belief system. Now throw this back to your belief system. What do you feed your dog and your cat? And you know what? I talk to 98% of my audience are women. Are women? Yeah, 98% are women. Okay, so I talk to women around the world every day, maybe 20 of them. The boy population is coming in because just was on with a 70-year-old boy. that has, just on the phone with him 20 minutes ago. On the phone with him, he's got 3 dogs with cancer. 3 dogs with cancer. So he bought, and then he bought the broccoli powder, which is on the website as cornucopia vegetable powder. And that vegetable powder is anti-carcinogenic, so it works against the cancer. We don't cure cancer. The dog cure the cancer. The dogs don't get cancer. We give them the cancer by feeding them this garbage food that we would never put in our mouth. Now, here's the thing I've been doing for 50 years, my 53rd year. I go all over the world like a preacher, like one of you now. And I'm telling the people to understand what you're doing here. And I can talk to 10 women a day, and they're all going to tell me the same thing. Who in your family guarantees you unequivocally, Mark, you got to, when the thing's over, you got to give me the Yiddish word for unequivocally, okay? It's a great word. So, without a doubt, family gives you unconditional love. Boom! The cat, the dog. That's what the women answer. 100%. And so we take this dog that my feelings are verified, that all these thousands of women that I talk to a year all say the same thing. They guarantee unconditional love. The one that guarantees unconditional love walks on 4 legs and is very fuzzy. Okay? That's what it is. So if that is true, and I believe it to be because women tell the truth, some women, and so if that's the truth, why are we feeding why are we eating these creatures that give us unconditional love garbage when we're feeding our rugrats whatever they want? Give them a phone, send them the $45,000 college, which they participate in from their basement where Uncle Joe lives, okay? Computer, and they never even experience college life. $40,000, isn't that absurd? And it's just crazy. But they get the car, they get the thing, they get the wedding they want handed to them because this is America, land of milk and honey. Well, the milk's not, and I don't know what they've done to the honey because there's not going to be much honey because the 5G is going to kill, it's going to not directly kill the bee, but the bee will leave the hive and get mixed up with bee. Thank you. Being poisoned by the 5G radio network, okay? And the bee is not going to be able to get back. So the pollinators, the bees, the bugs, and all these stuff that around your flowers pollinate the flowers and the trees and the bushes and the weeds and the grass and all this stuff, the pollinators are not going to find a way back simply because of 5G, okay? So you better think twice before the 5G phone, because it's going to poison you. And it's 3,000 times more than 4G. So you got 1G, 2G, and then 5G is the accumulation of all this, and it's like crazy numbers. What this stuff is do to you make you sick. All right. So we know what the program is out there. We know what little Tricky Billy, that's the Gates, and Terrible Tony, that would be Tony Fauci. They have in mind, and they do not want you to survive. They do not want you to live, because if you live, you're not able to cut the number of people in the world. There's too many people in the world, they think. Well, when I fly home to Kansas, and was my home for years because I was educated there, okay, I cover a lot of distance in that area. The window, I see a lot of places where people can live, all right? But they don't want this in their life, and they want to do it in their lifetime. They want to do it in their lifetime because egos are so inflated that they want to be sure that they do in their lifetime, they kill off the population of the world. For bludgeon, the Yiddish word for confused, okay? And I would be more confused, except I have so many miles behind me that I've seen this tried so many times. These guys make Adolf Hitler a nursery school teacher, but it's working. And the whole thing is to scare you to death and get the vaccine. That's what it's all about. Because nobody knows what's in that. There's no behind the vaccine. Everybody's making billions of dollars producing the vaccine, and it's all in order to because that's what he said. He stood there and he said, there's only one way to reduce the population of the world, and that's through immunization. That's what he stood there and he said. Escúchame, listen to me. This is what the guy said. So I guess his wife finally gave up and took him in. I don't know where she's at him, Billy Gates, okay? But this is what's going on here in this country, all right? Now, this is new, and this is my point of bringing up what's going on, because history repeats itself. Go back to 1953 and an empty extruder, and you can put any kind of schmutz in that extruder, and it'll come out the other end. So you have a choice. You can put whatever it is, but whatever comes out is going to be inspected, except a pet food factory, because I don't know another inspector in a pet food factory except me. And I don't know, nobody else knows either, another doctor. Here's the doctors. Aren't they just wonderful? You go to the doctor, they tell you what to do. Okay? They tell you to do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you the truth of what's going on here. Are 3 million doctors in the United States, only one makes food. Guess who he is? Okay? Hello? All right. And so, stiff with me than with other people. Okay? I didn't ask for all this. You know, I didn't ask to be with Mother Teresa. I was in her. I didn't ask to be the doctor in the Avianca crash. It just happened that, and my wife was. And so I didn't even ask to be the doctor on Shark Tank, okay, to be the doctor on Shark Tank. And that was 12 years and 5 weeks ago. No, 12 years and 2 weeks ago, where we filmed the Shark Tank thing. were said to me, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" By Robert Dick, who's the only person in the world whose father and grandfather, whatever, came over here with 75 cents in his pocket. That's what he thinks. Another ego trip, right? And he asked me, "Why are you doing this for the? What you should do for people? Why aren't you doing this for children? Why are you wasting time," whatever he said, "doing this for animals?" And you know, because you've already seen Shark Tank. And my answer was, because the animals are my children. That's
Good.
why.
They all look like him, actually. So what I have to do now is I'm going to move Geoffrey to a different room, and because Stephen Halpern is coming on now. And let's see. So what room is Jeff? We're going to move in room number 13.
Okay, can I give you my phone number before you do that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so anyone that has a dog out there or a cat and they've got lymphoma or anything else, you can call me for free. Not $100 for a nutrition consultation, but for free. My number is 631-427-7479, and that's Cornucopia. You can go online to Cornucopia Pet Foods, which is an oxymoron because it's not pet food, okay? So you can go on Cornucopia Pet Foods, plural, foods, plural.com, and you can look and you can study my website and see what I've been doing for 53 years, changing veterinary medicine in doing.
And what's the number?
631-427-7479.
Okay, so we're going to move Geoffrey to room 13. Anybody wants to follow Geoffrey, go to room 13. And just go to the screen, room 13. We'll move Geoffrey, and you look so cute. Okay, so that was great. Love it.